Well, welcome back. So I've gone through the cleaning a little bit, got a lot of the rust out, and I bought me a new welder, so I'm not always borrowing my dad's. I hadn't welded in like 30 years, but I took vocational welding and had done it quite a bit when I was in high school. It's kind of like riding a bike a little bit. Some of the settings and things like that I might have to brush up on. I'm a fan of watching people that know how to do it. But anyway, this is the one I've got. I got the Vulcan Omni Pro 220. It was a little bit of a budget one compared to like the other colorful name brand ones. But so far, my first time using this, because I just got it yesterday and got the tank today. It looks like it's pretty dialed in. I am cutting in. I don't know if you can see that with the light, but I got to fabricate that whole area over there just because it was rusted. Let me see if I can get around to the other side. But it was rusted, so there's little spots in here that have rust and have holes in it. It's going to require a little bit of love, but I'm going to do it in pieces. This is what I'm looking at right now. I tried to cut it out. I'm going to have to cut out some more. It looked like whoever had this bonded the hell out of it, so I'm going to keep cutting it out until I can find some good metal, and then I'm going to fabricate it in piece by piece, and just kind of weld it in. But right now, what I did was I cut out that backside piece, and I don't know if you can see that. I'm just tacking it right now. I think I'm deciding whether I should cut it in or just leave it lapped. I'm gonna have to push that in as I'm going along. That's why I stopped, because I need to get my hands full or free. But I'm gonna do this piece first, ball peen it in, try to get some kind of the shape. You ain't gonna see this. This is gonna be behind all the trim and everything. But I still want to try to make it structurally sound and not a total mess. But yeah, that's what I got so far. I'm kind of excited because I used to love welding when I was in high school, but I hadn't done it in a long time. And with this Omni Pro, it's pretty much, I want to say pretty much idiot proof. You just tell them the thickness of gauge. I'm running 0.2423 wire. 0.24. I forgot. I was 0.23. It's below 0.25. But I got some thin wire because I don't want to blow through the sheet metal piece of it. The welder fan just shut off. But yeah, so this is what else I have. I've got floor pans to go, and then the toe boards. Like I was saying in a previous video, I got to get toe boards, and the toe boards that I'm finding kind of melt in as part of this pan, and I don't want. So the toe board I'm finding, it comes out to here. And then it comes back, and I believe it comes up to somewhere around here. I don't need that piece, so if I end up getting that piece, I'll just end up cutting it off and lapping it in like it's supposed to be from the factory. Put the toe board in, and then set this on top of it, and then tack weld this side, tack weld that side, and then I'll stitch this side and that back side together. I'm sure it's going to take a little bit of finessing, just because there's one, it's not OEM, and then two, nothing seems to be straight. All right, I've got. Like I said, I'm gonna piece this together. I've got one part tacked in right now. That part right there is gonna be tacked in. It was rusted. I came up and made two other pieces. So this piece is gonna fill in here, and then This piece will be the backside. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack those up, and then I'm gonna have to deal with this because it looks like somebody had a lot of Bondo right here, and I gotta just peel it back until I find some good metal, and then I'm doing it piece by piece. And I got me some weld through primer. Never used it before, but gonna give it a shot to see how it works. Keep the stuff on the back as protected as I can. They're on the inside, and then once I get it on the outside obviously I'll deal with that as well. But I'll keep you up to date as soon as I get to tacking these in. And again, I'm going to tack them in first before I start tying them all together, stitching them all together little by little. But I'll keep you up to speed. Later. Alright, not sure where I left off, so I'm just going to go over a few things where I'm at, because I'm kind of bouncing around, and but I'm just hitting little things here and there, but we'll get it. This I showed you in previous video, a previous clip maybe. This is kind of my remanufactured. It needs a little bit more work. Just kind of right now I got it kind of shaped. I think I told you earlier, it took six different pieces to make it. You got the inside one, outside, inside, outside. This swoop, I needed this one, and then this one. And between all of them, I kind of put it back together. So it didn't turn out too bad. It's all new metal. As I was digging into it, it just kept getting worse and worse. So I ended up cutting it all the way up to here. Got it all the way up here. It's probably somewhere around here, and then of course down here. But the rocker panel itself was good. It was just what it was getting down into. So I cut it along the seam of the rocker panel and welded it back in. So that's where I'm standing with this one right now. And then I bounced around and I patched the hole. Yeah, you can't see it. I got a little bit of filler right there, but that's no big deal. But I patched the hole. There was a whole hole right here, and I patched it and went over it with Duraglass after the patch, after I grinded down the welds, and then I'll put some seam sealer through here. Inside, well, here we go. So the back part, I think I might have told you that the back panel right here is rotted, and in lieu of taking out the whole panel and buying it, and it's like $400 for the panel, everything else, I think what I've done, or I've come up with, because everything is good up here, this is good metal, even from behind it's good metal. I'm going to cut it off and I'm going to fab up different plates, and I kind of already got my measurements out, and I'm going to do them in sections, and I'm curl them under, curl them under, curl them under, curl them up, and then there's a back plate to this too. I don't know if you can see it. Well, I think I showed you. Oh shit, it's dark. I need to get my light out. But there's a back plate to it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to fab up the black back plate too. And I know originally I think it went behind or in between this one and the frame rail, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld that back plate into the front well, front plate, and then leave all this alone, because I don't want to mess with the geometry and everything else that's going along with this. Now as I wrap around here, I cut off that quarter panel I was talking about, and at first I was thinking, I'll just patch here and I'll patch there, and you know what, I said, I got that whole panel, let me just do the whole thing, and that way I can see what the wheel well looks like. I ordered a new drop down panel. Here's the drop down panel for, oh shit, this is the drop down panel for the driver's side. So I was gonna put the drop down panel to it. Well, looking at this wheel well, and it's all kind of rotted out down here, and it's kind of, the cancer's coming up to here, and then as I was peeling this
quarter panel away from the outer wheel well. I could see some rot down here. And is it salvageable? Yes, it is. Do I want to salvage it? No, I don't. So what I'm going to do is I already ordered it. I got an outer wheel well coming in, so I'm going to have to end up cutting all this off and then peeling this up. And a good thing this is on the outside of here. I was watching a video one time of a guy doing a Gen 1 Firebird, and this was pinched in between two other like body panels, and it was just kind of a pain in the butt for him, so you just had to cut it out and then put it in. But here it looks like it'd be easy. There's probably some spot welds in there that you got to pop out. I'm still going to have to cut that hole, and I'm going to have to make a little bracket here. Quarter panel will wrap around the front, but I left me a nice line. I traced it out and left me probably a good ½ inch or more to slice it in. So what I'll end up doing is I'll put the quarter panel up where it's at, and then once it's all aligned and I got everything aligned, then I'll do a cut and then start tacking it in, and that way it will sit flush. When I was pulling this apart, this back tail panel here was rusted here, and this is part of the reason I was taking the quarter panel out, because it was rusted right here. When I took it out, I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna have to redo this. So what I did was I took a piece of metal and I just kind of fabbed up a whole new quarter. So now it's really solid, whereas before it wasn't. And this will be where my quarter panel comes around and wraps around. So this right now is good to go. I need to take this off, like I said, take this off and clean up the front end to put the quarter panel on, and then patch that hole. I'm a little bit all over the place, but it keeps me busy. So I'm gonna go there and get all this done. I'll see if I can film some of this cutting this up. I didn't film any of this. And I'll try to film some of this quarter panel work. I'm not going to try. I'm going to film some of the quarter panel work. It just gets real hard when you start to work and you're focused on doing something. The last thing I think about is picking up a camera and either videoing it or logging it. And the whole purpose of these videos are for me to kind of have a visualization of the logging of working on the car. And if it benefits you guys in any way, that's awesome. But more than anything, I'm just trying to video log everything that I'm doing to this car. And is it going to be perfect? No, but it's going to be me. It's going to be tailored to how I'm doing it. And like I said, it's going to have little imperfections everywhere. But geez, we're all full of imperfections, aren't we? We just need to adapt and overcome, and that's kind of the fun part of this whole thing, adapting and overcoming. But yeah, let me start looking at this tail panel and getting to it. I'll keep you up to date.
Two-pack battery with charger. Get one select tool free. Up to a $139 value. Tough, reliable cold.
So there we go. We have wheel well cut out and the trunk pan. So now I got to go along and basically separate. I clean that all up. Once I get that all cleaned up, I'll be ready. I ordered the wheel well, was it this morning? Last night. I ordered it last night, and it's saying it's shipped, so I'll probably get it in a couple of days. I tell you, the shipping on these things are expensive. The wheel well, outer wheel well I got from Firebird Central was like 130 bucks for the wheel well, but shipping was 70 bucks. Now, it was either that or I go pick it up, and I didn't really find out where Firebird Central was, but I guarantee it was more cost efficient for me and time efficient just to have it shipped for the 70 bucks. But I needed a wheel well, so that's where we're at right now. And then I'm just going to go along and try to knock off some of these, knock off some of these tack welds. And every time I work on this car, it's kind of funny. Every time I work on this car, but it's getting less and less, I get rust that starts dropping from other parts of the car. It's just from the vibration. It's kind of like, I stay on top of it every day. I clean it up, I vacuum it up, I sweep it up just so it doesn't get too bad. But, all right guys, let me get back to work and then I'll bring you back in when I get a little further. All right guys, I got a little further. I'm gonna go get ready to pick up my kid and go to stop by Harbor Freight, get some more grinding discs and stuff like that. But here's what I got so far. I got the wheel well off, except for this outer, and I ground it right up to the inner wheel well. I started to try to pry it out from here, even drilled out a spot weld, but it just started contorting the inner, I don't know if it's the inner wheel well or it's the body frame or whatever, but it started torting it. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to get that off without boogering everything up. And then down here I kind of left some metal just until my outer wheel well comes. I want to find out exactly what metal's left. But look at that inner rocker. It's freaking good. This rust is from the other. This rust is from there, but it's all solid. Rocker arm is solid. So I kind of peeled it away from there. I need to still come back here. I got the trunk drop down. I need to get it, peel it away from the trunk pan and then from the tail light mount. Get that out of the way. So once I get the other part, the outer wheel well, then I can go a little bit further on the bottom piece, and then I got to figure out what I'm going to do with that, or how I'm going to peel that back out, because I don't want to mess up anything more than I could have already messed up. But yeah, that's it for right now.